Hello and welcome to another episode of the ZoomOut podcast. This is episode number 4, if I'm correct. It's a podcast where friends sit around and talk about their life in gaming, entertainment, music, and all the stuff that we like, and sometimes audio, because that's fun. They also talk about their life in the streaming world as they all stream on Twitch, and we get a little bit of insight of what they bring to the table for this week's podcast. But I'm going to throw it all out. This week I'm going to start with my own topic because there's just some things I want to talk about.
Okay, you go first, man. By all means,
yeah. Sorry, guys. I think, okay, so the little bit of housekeeping, that's why I wanted to go first. We had talked about the Oscars last week, and we talked about how nobody knew they were happening that night. And I thought that was kind of interesting. I was like, oh, like it's usually like a big deal. There's Oscar parties, and like obviously that wasn't going to happen because of COVID, but like usually people get really excited about it. And then the Oscars happen, and I see some stats the next day, and over the last 10 years or last 5 years, they have significantly dropped in viewership even before COVID. Yeah. I think 5 years ago they were at 28 million. The year after was 27, then 26, then 25, and then this year 10 million. Only 10 million people watched it. So like fucking of course. Oh wait, first 5 minutes. Fucking of course.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. That was 2 minutes in. At least it wasn't 36 seconds like last episode. Yeah, fuck it. So yeah, of course nobody heard of it. It's only like 10 million people watched it. I saw an interesting tweet that in 3 days, a Mr. Beast video on YouTube, I don't know if you guys know about him, but he's a huge YouTuber, gets 28 million views. And the Oscars on its night only got 10 million. Like that, if that doesn't show you the decline of award shows, I don't know what it is. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on it and like whether you guys will watch future Oscars or if you even give a shit about like award shows.
I had this conversation with my buddy Ryan. We used to care a lot about award shows because we were in film school, right? And watching movies and award shows were what we wanted to do with our lives. But like the statistics have proven, like it's declined like crazy. I think the statistic I read it was like 58% less than last year, which you've already given that number. It blew my mind, but it's because I think nobody expected it to happen because of COVID. It was already canceled because it happens in February. So it was canceled. And then it wasn't announced that they were going to do it or postpone it, rather. There was no marketing behind it. There were no hosts.
Yeah.
There were no like announcements of like who's going to like be presenting awards. There was no marketing behind it whatsoever. So that's why.
Yeah.
And then so no, I mean, short answer to your question is like, I don't think I do care about it anymore because also, and this might be a hot take, but like, and I haven't seen all the films, but like the quality of films that went into the Oscars this year, I think weren't as great as previous years because of COVID, I think. Like the budgets have been cut. Crews were they were skeleton crews making movies. That's not to say like some of the movies were like very good. But like, would you
make the argument that it was maybe not the quality, but maybe the pedigree of films? Like it just not a lot of the films had the same fan base going in.
That's an interesting point because like a lot of people up until now, I guess, have been saying that independent movies should be like on the rise and taking over rather than like these big Hollywood glitzy movies, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that this Oscars was more or less run by like independent film companies and like lesser production companies, and then the turnout was so shit, like that's kind of interesting. I don't know what happened there, but I hope going forward they market themselves better. I enjoy watching them up until a certain point. I enjoy going to a bar and when they have it like playing on like a projector screen or something, I like doing that, like doing Oscar pools with my buddies. Like it's fun. But another thing too, and I won't go too much into this, but I find it that like a lot of people, like in the past we've heard that like Oscar's too white or whatever, right? And lately the Oscars have been really trying to turn a leaf in that regard and like nominating more people of color and different cultures and races, and like awarding different colors and races as well. And it's just so disheartening that as we're going forward in the right direction, the viewership is going down.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking bogus. So there's that.
The message is getting stronger, but the reach is getting smaller.
Exactly.
That sucks. Yeah. How about you guys?
I mean, I guess for me, like, whenever I think about the Oscars now, I just think about how, like, live TV's dying, at least in my mind, because there's just so many streaming options. And so it's just, obviously the pandemic is what curbed the viewership so much this time, but it was already on a decline anyways. I mean, and I think it's just going to keep being like that. Like, I mean, to me, if they wanted to be smart, they would, like, offer it on streaming platforms, you know, even if, I mean, whether it's live or not, or it's a rewatch or whatever. I think that'd be a better way to do it, and a way to condense it as well, because it's such a long event and everyone's attention spans are getting shorter over time. So it's just like, maybe that's a way to do it. Maybe they do record it and then they clip it down, and then you can, like, see the award, you can see the speech, and there's not all the BS in between. I think that'd be a really good thing to do, because, like, I enjoy, like kind of like Derek said, I enjoy, like, doing, like, an Oscar pool. It's fun to, like, guess, even if you haven't seen all the films, for example. Like, that's enjoyable, but it's just a really, really long event. And at least for me, they don't even make it funny enough. Like, they'll find some host who's just very safe. Yeah. And I know that it's, like, a nice event, and they're trying to respect people's jobs and abilities, and, like, they're trying to, like, really, like, showcase them, and that's really nice. But also, like, I feel like they could make it funnier, but they always want. It's just it always bums me out where they're just like, it's like really safe jokes, and I'm just like, oh, that was great.
That's why Ricky Gervais was the best host, because he pushed the envelope.
100%. And guess what? When he hosted, I was glued to the screen, because he was just slapping people up, and I was like, this is what I want.
Yeah.
But other than Ricky, I mean, I always lose interest, like, you know, halfway through, and then I come back, so I'm like, oh, the big awards are at the end, and then that's all. So
I watched it live, but not this year's, but Ricky Gervais' year. I watched it live, much like you guys, but I still go back and watch his monologues. I just find them they're so funny. There's such a great, like, clip of comedy that's just so relevant. Like, he let them have it, and and that's obviously his brand.
He has this, like, eat the rich mentality, and that we all love to see. We're watching all these, like, prissy rich people, like, accept awards, and it's just like he takes them all down a peg, which is nice.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, like, to continue just a little bit more, it's like with Ricky, like, pick edgy comedians that aren't afraid of not getting a movie role or not getting a TV show or whatever, because, like, a lot of these comedians now, a lot of their incomes come solely from their podcasts, for example. Their podcasts are incredibly profitable, and then they're still on shows and movies and everything like that, and all that supplements their income. So pick edgy comedians that'll actually make it funny, and see if it hits, because it hit for me, and I think it would hit for a lot of people who, like Derek said, like, have that eat the rich mentality of just, like, enjoy the humor in it, because I mean, you are like, you're literally just celebrating rich people doing more rich people things. So at least make it funny.
Yeah.
That's so. Yeah, that's true.
I have a very weird perspective on the whole thing, because I never really had a full-blown appreciation for award shows, just in a general sense. And there's been a lot of issues surrounding race and culture in award shows. And when I hear of little events, I'm not 100% certain on this, but just as an example, I'm pretty sure the Grammys asked The Weeknd to perform at the Grammys or something like this, and he was set to do the Super Bowl, and they were like, hey, if you do the Super Bowl, you can't headline us. And he was like, okay, like, I'm never going to your show ever again then. You know, like, I'm just going to boycott you.
Yeah.
Like, have fun. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You're telling me that I can't say yes to, like, a dream of mine to play at the Super Bowl.
Right.
And now I'm also, like, not allowed to be at your show. So it's just like that event and things like that, for me, they don't take away from the Grammys. They take away from award shows. Because I'm not, like, in my mind, it's like, oh, this is just a platform where people and creators are recognized. I'm not breaking it down between the Grammys, the Emmys, the Oscars, I don't care what award show it is. I blend them all together. It's just a form of people getting recognized. And obviously they have different ways and different organs. But I think if you want an award show now, you need to do it in the right way and launch a new one. Because there's just too much history within the realm of Grammys, Oscars, Emmys.
Yeah, systemic shit.
There's like, people are just now like, hey, they're all the same thing, and there's no new and exciting thing that's like peer versus peer, and this person has X amount of record sales, so they get a vote, and then it's all peer voting. And they're, I don't know, just like come out with an award show that's like super transparent, hyper into the culture of how art is developing, and recognizing anyone and everyone who makes good art, and not being like having a grudge over silly little nonsense.
I say give the votes to the people. Like, we're the ones consuming their content. Like, do it like what was it, like American Idol style, where like people could just like cast their votes into like who they want to move on to the next round or whatever. Yeah. Just like put it out to the world and have everybody send in their votes, and like that's who wins, because we're the ones judging you, really. Like, but
the only thing that, and the only caveat that I have with that form of recognition is the internet is a large spot for memes, and people will fucking vote Kanye into being the president for the sake of it being hilarious. Like, there's no, like, for as an actual fact example, the NHL All-Star Game 2 to 3 years ago, in voting as their predominant source of getting people into the game, who are all of the All-Stars, and they would have one person per team represent each of the teams, and they would be voted by the fans. And during this voting process, the fans of the league thought, oh, it would be fucking hilarious if we voted in one of like the fourth line grinder fighters who like has very minimal skill and isn't that like fun to watch, but he's just like a great guy and he beats people up for a living in the NHL. Like, how funny would it be to have him in an all-star game? And he got in.
Yeah.
And the league tried to like send him back down to the minors so that he wasn't eligible to play in the game, and like and it became this giant thing. So that, I feel like a hybrid maybe of fan voting versus artist voting would be maybe one of the better ones.
I think some like review sites and I know in video games, some of the award shows that happen there, like they do the popular vote, which I think is a nice maybe addition to the Oscar, like the most popular movie,
like a People's Choice thing.
People's Choice, great example. The reason why is that I like cinematography, but like I just don't think the world is qualified to say what good cinematography is. Do you know what I mean?
True.
Like,
it's just know enough about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's where like I know there is a bit of a boys' club and there is the systemic racism that is definitely plagues the Oscars in some shows, but like I also do think that some of the most qualified people do those voting. So like I watch movies after the Oscars, not before. I usually pick the movies that win in their categories or win in multiple categories, and I watch them. So like I still kind of, maybe there's another solution for me. Maybe I can just find a review site or something that does that for me too. But like I still want there to be a professional element around an award show, like just so like I can like in sports, it's a lot of it's statistics. So it's like you can't argue who scored the most goals in hockey. They just did. And like quite often too, like for the MVP, the Hart Trophy Award in the NHL, it's voted on by a select few members of the press. So it's like the clear, they pick who the MVP of the season is. So that way you get narratives from all different teams. It's not just like Toronto has the biggest media. So it's not just a Toronto Maple Leaf, because there's members of the Winnipeg press, there's members of Arizona's press. Like I still want a level of professionalism in that, but like I'm definitely for a popular vote. I just feel like the popular vote's always going to be whatever movie Marvel put out. And the Marvel movies are great for what they are. But like the Green Book, right? Like if the Green Book lost to Infinity War, like I would have freaked out. I love the Green Book. It's an amazing movie. But like if it lost out to Infinity War, which is a great movie in itself, like I just feel like that's where we need that level of professionalism, because like 22-year-old Jimmy, who's just fucking seen every Marvel movie he can might not care that the Green Book handles racism in an elegant way. Like that's what I want to be more delicate about in terms of shows.
That's fair. That's fair.
Maybe a hybrid then.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
That's what I was going to say is like, I mean, I think a fun hybrid then would be let a dedicated group like the Oscars already have pick the films, and then you could have them make their choice, and you could let the fans make their choice, and if they align, then you know that movie's really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, I think that'd be a fun thing where like you like literally on screen you're just like, hey, you know, like X film won, you know, the professional vote, and it also won the popular fan vote. I think that'd be a great way to do it, and then that way everyone's happy. It's a little more fun. You're a little more engaged because you want to see if the movie you picked wins. You know.
You get like a full-size Oscar
And
from
then
the Academy,
Yeah.
and then a
Yeah.
little one based on the popular vote.
Why not? And if you get both, you get one that's like 1.5 times the size, and you're like, I'm better.
Yeah.
You
Just
know?
get a little
Like,
bobblehead or something.
There's
thanks,
the- there's
guys.
the-
It's life size.
There's the Oscar and then the Oliver. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, you go up on stage and you're like, guys, I'd really like to thank you.
Thank you guys. This is the best.
It's fully articulate, like
Yeah.
just golden mannequin.
Or
For
just
those
go.
of you listening, I put my arm around the Oscar as though it were as tall as me. For those of you who can't see me doing
Oh yeah, fair enough.
my
Yeah.
stupid shit.
Or
hashtag.
just go full WWE and just like you get 2 title belts if you get both. You know, you're just walking around. You're like, I'm better.
Yes.
All award shows should be belts. You're 100% correct.
You're 100% right.
The
You know how-
Pulitzer Prize, Nobel Peace Prize, like all belts.
Well, whoever's getting like is the Lifetime Achievement Award normally they're alive, right? Normally.
Normally.
I don't
Okay,
know.
so
Normally.
whoever's getting the Lifetime Achievement Award should be slapping the belt on people. Like you do that first,
Right.
and then they're the ones who
Yeah.
slap the belt on the director who just won Best Director. Like that would be so sick.
Right.
Yeah.
That would
Give
be
it to me.
Great.
Give
But
it to me.
imagine like just like an old decrepit Anthony Hopkins coming out with a belt, just like.
That's
smack
on
it.
him for being so good. That's on
Yeah,
him.
that's
on
your
him.
fault, man. Sir Anthony Hopkins, that's on you, buddy.
Yeah.
He
Or
just
hey,
walked up and he's like, "Hey, I'd like to take this chance to apologize." Absolutely no one. The double champ does what the fuck he wants.
well, right up the same alley. I was gonna say, just make The Rock do it. He already has 9,000 jobs.
Yeah,
just
true,
let him be slapping the belt on people. He probably would
True.
love to. You
Yeah.
know.
True.
Yeah.
On the Anthony Hopkins note, I wanna post. I want to posit one more thing.
Was that a note?
Yeah, it was a little digression, I guess. But this also feeds into like systemic Oscar racism and stuff like that too. So I have an interesting view on this, but like Anthony Hopkins won Best Actor over Chadwick Boseman, who is R.I.P. He's dead, and people were furious at the Oscars for giving it to Anthony Hopkins, who, by the way, I have heard and read that his performance in The Father is the best performance perhaps of all time. So there's some merit behind that, and Anthony Hopkins is a fantastic actor and awesome. Chadwick Boseman also, who was an amazing actor, who did a very good job in the movie. I'm forgetting what the movie was at this point, but he was nominated for his role, and apparently he was very good in that too. But people were very upset that an old white man got the Oscar over Chadwick Boseman. I get that. Oscar's so white. They're trying to fix that. They failed here. Maybe. But my view is, why are we giving awards? And no disrespect, but why are we even considering giving awards to people who are dead? That's my perspective. Because at that point, it's not for them. It's for somebody else.
Right.
And that just doesn't make sense to me. And I think it's not fair to the rest of the actors who are alive, still doing their job, to not win the award. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're still here doing their job, living their life. Not to say that the person, like it's their fault or anything like that, the person who died. I'm just saying like the people who are still alive have much more of how do I put this? They're alive.
Well, award
You
shows
know?
are for like recognition, right?
Yes, and I know that, but like I said before, the recognition at that point it doesn't go to the person who has passed on. It goes to the people like of his family or something like that, which is a nice sentiment. But I truly believe that it's unfair for the actors who are still around and still deserving of a chance to win that. I don't know. It's a little bit of a controversial topic in my mind. It happened with Heath Ledger. He won for Batman. He was dead. And I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve recognition for his role, because fuck yeah, the Joker was amazing. And his role was amazing. But I also think that like, I just don't think awards should be given to people who can't receive them.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough because I agree with you in some form. But if it's an award, I want the best thing or person or film or whatever it is to win. Like just the best wins. You know, like if they're there or they're not. That's like what the award is symbolic for. And I didn't see Chadwick's movie, and I didn't see Anthony Hopkins' movie either. It was I just looked it up. It was Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Yes, that's what it was. Ma Rainey's, yeah.
Haven't seen it, but I want to now. If both of them were nominated for performances that people are like, how did either of them beat each other? That's pretty cool. Like to even have a conversation where it's like both performances were that good.
I think for award, like I think the difference is, and I can kind of agree with you and I kind of disagree. The perfect spot to be on the fence.
I'm there too. Like I'm in the same boat almost.
So I think the difference that I see here is that the Oscar is going to the best performance in a movie that came out that year, not the best actor not the best actor of the year. So like if it was the best actor of the year, I could see there being an argument that like they are no longer in contention because they have passed away. They are no longer that you can't look back at 2021 and be, or 2020 and be, that's the best actor. But the fact that he is dead or not does not change the fact that that movie was a 2020 movie. And they're looking for the best actor that played in a part in that
performance.
Yeah, the best performance in that movie. So I still think there should be that recognition of that. Like, I don't think an actor is going to be upset that they lost to somebody who did a performance in a movie that came out the same year as their movie and they did it better. Do you know what I mean? Like if it was an overall, you've just the best actor this year, regardless if you've done one film or The Rock, you've done 18. Then I could see there being an argument that like, oh, well, it's posthumous. Like they shouldn't be the best actor right now because they're dead. They were, and now they've passed. But like, yeah, if it's contained in its year in a film, then I think they live on forever. That's just art.
Yeah,
that's a fair point.
There might be though some form of consideration, like maybe that's why they didn't give Chadwick's performance the award. Because it was maybe they thought it was really close, or like the votes were really close, or whatever it was. But they were like, "Hey, this living human is going to get more recognition, and it's going to boost their career, and they're going to be able to have better performances because now they're an Oscar winner." Versus giving it to Chadwick. And again, I haven't seen both movies, and I want to now, so that I have like an actor.
That would make a lot more sense if we were talking about an actor who wasn't Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah,
because like Anthony Hopkins is like a well-established, already Oscar winner guy who has a career that's like huge, right? So,
I would love to see both films and come back and be like, hey, Chadwick fucking slapped it, and so did Anthony, and like, don't know who should have won. You know, like that's kind of
true.
That's kind of how the internet seems to be reacting, and it's how I would love to probably conclude it.
Well, I mean, right when DARIK said Hopkins had arguably the best performance like ever, for me that right there, it's like, well, if that's true, then he deserves it. Like, I'm not about all respect to Chadwick, but I'm not about giving somebody an award just because they passed. Like, if he was the best person, like if he destroyed Anthony Hopkins, you know, give it to him, you know, But also, like, I don't know, like, the whole time you guys have been talking, I've been thinking, I don't know how I feel about giving out awards to people who've passed. I'm not sure. Like, it's a really great point, Derek.
It's a weird thing to talk about. I know.
Yeah,
it's tough.
weird.
It's tough.
I mean, like, you know, and that's the thing is, like, I feel like if Chadwick deserved it, he should get it. But, you know, I mean, Anthony Hopkins is alive and could benefit greatly from that. And so, to me, it's like, how does Chadwick still benefit from it? You know, the only thing that, I mean, in my mind is like the award would go to his family. And maybe that's really a really lovely thing for them. It's like kind of like the last token. And so I want to consider that. So I don't know. It's a really strange thing.
I think it's a legacy thing too. Like,
Sure.
yeah, he's passed on, and like, depending on your views on passing on, like, no, it probably doesn't affect him at all. But at the same time, like, I'm not Chadwick Boseman, but I think about my legacy passing. Like, I think everybody kind of has that idea of like, what are you leaving behind? So like, I do think that like, we would be a little short to say it doesn't affect them, because I think it is built on a legacy or it's a part of a legacy that they're building. But yeah, I don't think
He's
being
also
alive.
left-
Oh, go ahead.
He's also left the movie behind.
Mhm.
You know, like
Yeah.
he's created the art already too. So I don't know. I have no idea how you could like. I think they just haven't changed it because it's just easier to not talk about it.
Yeah,
You know?
that could be it.
It's a hard conversation to have. Even now, it's like, oh, like fuck, like you have to think about both sides and
Mm-hmm.
families involved, and like, are we just going to eliminate their work that they like did really well in because they're not here to like get the award in their hands? Like Anthony Hopkins could have got the award, and there's been years past too, obviously, where Oscar recipients are like, hey, I'm going to send in a video because I can't make it, you know.
Yeah.
And the people who are nominated in the category are sitting in the theater not getting handed the award too.
Mhm.
But he can never obviously receive the award, so it's like,
Yeah,
I don't know, it's tough. It's like,
it's weird. I know. Just
I
something
feel like-
food for thought.
I love it though. I love thinking about shit like this because it's not something
Yeah.
that I would just be like, oh, I wonder what.
Yeah.
I had more topics, but I feel like we've been talking for 30 minutes.
Were they Oscar related or?
No. That I honestly thought that would be a 2-second call. Oh wait, there is an Oscar related one. Our favorite developer, Respawn, won an Oscar. I don't know if you guys know this. Yeah.
No.
So the best documentary was Colette this year, and Colette is about oh man, I even practiced, so I said this fucking right beforehand, and I lost it immediately. It was what are they called? Oh, Holocaust survivor. I was trying to figure out the right like politically correct term. Like I didn't. Well, yeah. So like
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Could you imagine the possibilities that might have been said?
Oh, man.
So yeah.
I can't think of it, calling it.
I don't
anything
want
other
to.
than-
I
Yeah.
don't want to.
Thank God. Okay, so yeah, so Colette's like a story about a Holocaust survivor who they follow her going back to like her hometown where she ran off to, the like Auschwitz, like her whole journey. And basically the documentary was supposed to stand alone, but it was also supposed to be a part of that World War II game that I was shitting on just last episode, the VR one that Medal of Honor that Respawn made. Yeah, so if you play that if you play that game, that documentary is part of that game. So Respawn and another studio, Oculus, who makes the headsets, you know.
Yeah.
The headsets. So they produced it. So they won the Oscar. So they are the first 2 video game studios to ever win an Oscar at the Oscars.
Cool.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Love it.
Super cool. I just think it's crazy that this podcast is basically dedicated to our low key, high key love of Respawn, and then full circle.
I mean, just this morning, I was
Please
saying
sponsor
that
us.
exactly. I was just saying, like, I pray to my God, Respawn, and actually they won an Oscar. So hey, I'm on
Nice.
the right page, I guess.
Yeah. Keep
You
up
are.
the chants and
That's awesome.
sacrifices. You got this. Okay, so let's move on to somebody else. Who else wants to talk? I think this feels like an Alex moment. He was just too fucking quiet.
Speaking of Respawn, no.
Hey.
Welcome to the Alex segment. Splurpicide, tell us about Apex.
Alex and
Alex's
Apex.
Apex corner. Yeah. No, I mean the one big thing on my mind, of course, is that On Tuesday, we get Apex's new season, which is season. Yes, Dallas. We get season 9, which for some reason they called season Legacy, and I don't like that because you should have just done that at season 10. But hey, the biggest thing,
you know, like why I'm gonna start my diet in a week? Nah, dude, we're doing it right now.
No, dude, it's 9 seasons Legacy. But hey, the biggest thing I want to talk about, because we kind of talked about Valk last week, but we didn't really touch on the arena mode. And I'm really excited for the arena mode. And so I'm gonna talk about a couple of things, and then if you guys want to dive into the nitty-gritty, we can. But I just wanted to talk about how I think Apex is going to take this arena mode, and I think they're going to try to sort of nudge us into making this the competitive ranked mode. And I think they're going to try and steer everybody away from Battle Royale being the competitive mode for a lot of reasons. And I said this a bunch in my stream, and I tell Dallas this every day, and I probably say it in my sleep. But I don't think Battle Royale ranked modes are an accurate assessment of your skill. And
that's fair.
And for a lot of reasons, because I mean, you're in a fight and you get third partied, you're done. You know, you get into these high ranked lobbies, and you know, I'm there. Like, we're in diamond ranked lobbies. You'll lose more than 40 points if you die early, and so you hide a little bit more, you camp a little bit more. You get a couple of kill points, and then you're like, oh, if I have 3 kill points, I should just go ahead and move to ring and set up and prepare and not really do anything. And so you're not playing how you should play the game. You know, You're playing it more like a real life scenario where you're like, we're not in real war. Like, you should be playing and having fun, really attacking people. And I think the arena mode is going to allow that, especially because there's multiple rounds to win. And so I think from a competitive standpoint, I think Apex is going to try to nudge everybody, especially for themselves, because they want to compete with games like Valorant. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of wanted to know y'all's thoughts on that, because that's what I think they're going to try to do. It's not going to launch with a ranked mode. It's going to be just pub matches at first. But I know they're going to launch that mode, and I know they're going to push it hard, because I really do believe that's where they want to direct everybody.
There is absolutely nothing worse than dropping into a battle royale, ranked or otherwise, and picking up absolutely nothing and having to punch the guy with the Mastiff. And like, there's nothing. And that, like, to your point of like reflection of skill, like, that just hurts. And with this new mode, you get the loadout, you can pay, you know, to upgrade your weapons and stuff like that. Like, I
have a real example of exactly why I'm completely on board with them pushing this as the ranked within Apex. And the example, I was actually streaming live to Alex on Discord while it was happening. I just recently started playing Apex, and it was at the beginning of Season 8, maybe the end of Season 7, for like a couple drops. I only play in ranked when I'm alone, and I rarely ever play the game alone, so I'm like Gold 2, I believe. And I was just playing, and Alex was like working on something, so he was just kind of in Discord chilling, and I was streaming the gameplay to Alex. And I dropped into a Gold 2 lobby, and me and another teammate were fighting a 2v3. Didn't know it at the time, but we had pushed into a 2v3, and both of us died. And it cuts to our teammate when we get thirsted, and this guy is still looting and running away from where we were just fighting. And I was like, hey, I started typing. I was like, are you going to even try for our banners? No response. Just kept going. Our other teammate leaves at this point. And then I'm like, hey, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And he gets in a trident, and he just drives around the map until his RP is positive. He gets to top 3 and can't hit a bullet, still gets positive points, and I got positive points, and I didn't play the entire game. And it's like, I got rewarded for that. And so did he. Yeah. He sat in a trident the whole game and didn't get any damage or kills. And it's like, man, you put that guy in an arena mode and you're telling me he's going to be in gold?
Yeah.
Not
he's
happening.
going to be the dog water of the game.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's why I'm so happy that they're going to do this. Yeah. Because it's going to, like, the point system now is so fucked. Yeah. And like Dallas just said, now we're going to have this game mode where you can buy your guns and you can get all of your attachments and your shield batteries and whatever you need. And then it's down to 3 people working together against the other 3, and you just have to fucking be better. Like there's no hiding. I mean, you can hide if you want to. You're gonna lose the match, you know. But you can't hide for RP. Like you're gonna have to get those kills. I mean, you know, we don't know what their rank system is like yet. We don't know if it's gonna be. I mean, I assume it's gonna be kill and assist based, just like the battle royale mode is. But you're gonna have to be able to aim and shoot your gun and hit your shots, or else you're not gonna be a good player. Yeah. You know. Yeah.
I can give a little bit of a different light on this. A quick thing before I give the light. The ranking will probably be win-loss. They'll use an MMR system. Almost every competitive game uses that system. And that system does not account for, or doesn't naturally account for kills and assists. That's not what that's designed for.
League does that.
Yeah. Rainbow Six, Valorant, CSGO, all of them. They use MMR. It's called Microsoft... can't remember. It's like basically it looks for ranges of like you get an elo, and then it looks to see the disparaging amount between you and your opponent. So your 3 stack versus your opponent's 3 stack. It determines whether you should win this game or lose this game. If you win this game and you were supposed to lose, you get a higher percentage of points moving you up. If you lose the game when you were supposed to win, you get a higher dock. If the outcome happens as it predicts it should happen, neither get a large amount. It's almost a perfect flawed system. Like, it is far from perfect, but there is no other system that competes with it. That's why every game, a competitive game, uses it. It was made by Microsoft some time ago. Yeah, it's really complicated. Like, I work at a mobile game studio. I don't anymore. I was working at a mobile game studio, and we had a design contest, and we used the MMR system, like for a design contest. Like, it's like the best solution for that.
Interesting.
So yeah, kills and assists, like your performance has nothing to do with that. In Apex it does, I'm sure, for the Battle Royale, because they can't use the MMR system. But yeah, for anything that's like round-based, that it works, that's what they do. Okay, so what I was going to say, for my points to kind of shed some light on this, I think there are 2 reasons they did this. And neither one of them are related to arenas being cool. There's 2 reasons. The first reason I would say is Apex Legends and the whole collective of EA do not have a strong foothold in the world of esports. They currently do not have a title that sits comfortably in the ever-growing, ever-profitable world of esports. I'm a huge fan of esports. It's huge part of my job, too, is understanding that scene. So I'm going to assume that some big conversations happened at EA and with Respawn about how can we make Apex Legends more comfortable in the esports scene. Currently, the Battle Royale category of the esports is one of the weakest. It is very hard to watch as a viewer. That's the number one. Watching it is very chaotic. Unless you have a full understanding of the game, it's actually really clunky to watch. So it doesn't do well in terms of viewership, or typically doesn't do like very well in terms of viewership or new viewership. Yeah, it's very, very frustrating experience for a new viewer. The second thing is, well, actually, no, that was just the first thing. The second reason why they wanted to do this is EA also has a small blemish in their portfolio of multiplayer games that are like team deathmatch centric. So like with Titanfall 2 not really taking off, Battlefield 5 really plummeted and didn't do well. EA is now in a position which they haven't been in 7 years of not really having a multiplayer game, that like a round-based multiplayer game that they can really rely on. And those typically for FPSs have really held the share of players and users. So that's something that I think that they wanted. So this is kind of why I think Arenas was made. It helps with the esports push, and it helps with the it helps with like filling that need of a round by round or like contained deathmatch mode. And you're already tying it to a very successful Apex Battle Royale, and then you can now have a whole new viewer or a whole new group of people come in just to play Arenas. So I go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to say, so because of those 2 points you just raised, then it's almost inevitable that there will be a ranked coming out.
They already said there is. So that's confirmed, yeah. But yeah, it is inevitability. I would imagine that within I would say within a year, but I don't want to say that because of COVID. I would say within a year, you're going to see the ranked, and you're going to see an esports scene just for arenas. I think you're going to step away from the battle royale being their main esport for Apex, and I think you're going to see the arenas because I'm a huge fan of round by round, like Valorant and Rainbow Six Siege is my most played game of all time. So like those are both very round by round. I think that's some of the best competitive ways to play in FPS.
Weird to follow.
Yeah, and they're a really good way of testing skill. There's no randomness. Everyone's on the same page. The advantages are built with momentum. Like it's really, it's a really good competitive game. That's why CS:GO is one of the biggest. It's like the second or third biggest esport in the world. And Valorant just quietly climbing there, and Rainbow Six Siege also in that department is a tier 1 esport. So yeah, I imagine that we'll probably within a year or 2 years we'll see arenas.
Season 10, to be honest.
Yeah.
Season 10. I'm like, they're just gonna launch rank season 10 and take off.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because like they have commitments with their battle royale, so they can't just flip a switch overnight and say, "Hey, battle royale is no longer."
I think it'll always be there. I don't think they'll.
I'm talking about esport. I'm talking about esports. Like I think the ranked, the ranked will be coming within a year for sure. I'm talking about them making the official competitive mode of Apex being arenas. Because I truly think that's what they're going for.
Yeah, 100%. I would agree. It just makes no sense to have, from a viewer's perspective, like you zoom out on the map to show where
you said it.
Zoom out. Just a quick plug, guys. Zoom out on the map, and you see like 60 people trying to rotate around, and you're not seeing any fighting, but like 8 of those groups are shooting at each other, and you can't watch all of them. It's like have just 3v3, and you can literally see 100% of the action, and also intensify like. One of the things that the NBA does better than any of the other sports leagues is integrate their players into the status of celebrity, which is something that people want to follow along with and they hold on to. Like LeBron James is like more of a celebrity than he is a basketball player at this point. Like he's so good at basketball, but people just know who LeBron James is. And esports, when they're in a battle royale setting, unless you're Booga, I don't know who you are in Fortnite. Sorry, there's too many of you.
Yeah.
And it's so hard for me to affiliate myself as a viewer and a fan to that community or a team if I don't know who the players are. There's too many teams. There's too many players. Like, give me Hal, give me Timmy, give me like whoever is heavy in the Apex scene who's just cleaning up. Put them in a roster,
Thanks,
and
baby.
I'm doing it. I'm not into it.
You're 100% right, because like I think the most successful esports out there, League of Legends and CS:GO, have successfully done that. Like they're like people know the name Faker. Like if you know anything about esports, you've heard the name Faker. He's the best League of Legends player there's ever been. Yeah. And like he is a god of that game, and they call him like the god, the Demon King himself. But like that's a name that's synonymous with League of Legends esports. And you're right, because it's more of a team game. And there are many League of Legends teams, but like maybe that point doesn't make sense because there are so many League of Legends teams. But when you watch the Invitational, or like the tournament at the end of the year, and you have the best 16 teams playing, you start to get those like the narratives. But in a battle royale, you don't get that because it's always going to be chaos at all times. Like the CS:GO and like League of Legends, Rainbow Six Siege, like they have those players, or Valorant even like as a new esports has them too. Yeah.
Cool. And one more note, real quick, and Dallas and I've already said this, is that it's going to be so much better for streaming.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, in between rounds, you already like at a certain point, you know exactly what loadout you're going to go for. You know exactly what you want, and so you can just be chatting the whole time. You know, and then you can focus up for a round. You can chat the whole time, and like that way, like I mean, I was going to say you guys know already how hard it is to like look at chat and like try to like fight a team, you know. But so now there's gonna be a little more balance to it rather than you being nervous the entire time you're in a game. And so I think that's gonna be a really great way to actually interact.
Gonna be really nice.
Yes.
Really nice.
Nothing
when I'm
like
just gonna be able to buy without looking, right? Like in between.
Probably.
Like,
yeah.
Hey guys,
100%.
what's going? I'm buying all my shit, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's hilarious. Like you can just look completely off your screen and buy all your shit.
I can't wait till you buy a Mozambique because you're not looking.
I'm so buying Mozambique
Yo.
while I'm looking.
I fucking rip with the Mozambique.
Oh,
He does.
Yo,
no,
are
I'm
you
David.
Strudel, dude?
Guys.
Or are you MK Slays? You know?
Guys,
Dude, no,
guys,
no.
guys, I'll vouch. I was playing with him last night, and there were a couple opportunities in which he fucking blew my mind with his Mozambique skills. Like, he was cleaning up. You get 4 shots. If you hit all of them, you're fucking doing great work. And DARIK was on fire last night.
I'm
But
pretty good with the pistols. Yeah.
I feel as if we should really compliment your wingman experience last night.
That wingman shot.
Yeah.
Was...
Okay, so they're pushing the door, and I'm down because I'm fucking dog water. And so I'm holding the door like a fucking champ. And DARIK takes on the guy that killed me, and he was low health. You know, I did my part. And then the other guy, he puts a couple wingman shots in. The other guy's like, oh, shit, I got to get the fuck out of here. I opened the door for him. I'm a nice guy. He leaves, and then he comes back to kill DARIK. DARIK's looking at the door. Like, DARIK turns, looks at the door. I fucking open it. DARIK, boom, headshot. Boom, bitch, fucking out. It was great.
It was so clean. Like, door open, and he just gone. Have you ever seen... I don't want to spoil it. No, I'm fuck it. Burn After Reading.
No.
Have you ever seen that movie? Okay, never mind. It's gonna fall flat. Anyway, it was great. It was great.
Yeah.
It was
For those
unreal.
viewers who are out there who knows the reference, this one's for you.
Yeah.
There you go. Burn After Reading,
man.
opening a door, getting shot in the face.
And we didn't even
That's all I
like
gotta
say it. I just felt like I should open this door now. And DARIK just like headshot. It was gorgeous. And go ahead.
I feel as a player, I'm a lot better when I'm handling a pistol. I don't know what it is. When I'm rocking a pistol and a shotgun, like are my guns. I've always been like that. David, when we used to be roommates and play together. Every time we played a game and it required pistol handling, I was the king.
Yeah.
Pistol handling to me is just so natural.
It almost feels like you slow the game down. Like, so I've played competitive sports most of my life, and there are moments where the game almost like slows down in front of you. I feel like that's what's happening to you when you have the wingman or the Mozambique, because like you feel as if you have to count the milliseconds in between the shots, and you're like almost more focused in that time.
Which is crazy to me. I don't even know how I do it because I'm sitting here with a controller in my hands playing PC players. And they're strafing like fucking mad. So I'm just like trying to line up my shots as best I can. No. Yeah, anyway.
Well, I will say some of the most the most powerful thing that you can have as a human being is confidence. It fucking destroys so many other things that are like a lack of skill. Like if you think to yourself, I'm gonna beam this guy when he comes through the door with a headshot with this wingman, rather than like like if he was coming to the door and I have an R9 in my hand, I just haven't practiced with the R9 enough. I'm not gonna one put the guy, and I know that in my brain. I'd rather just have an alternator in my hand because I'm like, I'm just gonna hit more shots. Yeah, and I feel better about having an alt. I know that R9 can probably do more damage and more quick, but my brain tells me that I'm better with the alternator, so I just pick that gun. You're perfectly like it's perfectly like that. I resonate so much with that because my favorite gun in that game is the R301. And one time DARIK and I dropped, and a gold R301 appeared, and DARIK said to me, I was like, yes, I'll take the gold R301. He's like, DARIK's like, we're gonna win this game, and we fucking did. I went from like my normal like 2 to 4 kills a match to like I dropped 8 that game. Like it was just like just the confidence. Like it's a fucking amazing gun, so of course like that helps. But like I just so comfortable with that gun, so knowing that it's like I have that in every engagement, it's like yes, like I feel good about it.
Well, that's why one of the biggest pieces of advice I always give people will pop in the stream like, hey, how do I get better? I'm like, use the guns you're comfortable with. Use the ones that like don't use the R9 if you can't control the R9. Just like Dallas just said. Dallas and I had a really long talk about that where he was like, I can't really like get the R9 aim down. He's like, but the alternator, I slap with it. I was like, if you slap with it and they're gonna die, fucking use it. Like,
Yeah.
that's the choice, you know.
Literally, the name of the game is just to not die before them. So like whatever gets you to that point. That's why I always go for an R301. Like every once in a while, I'll get a different gun and be like, oh, like I'll try it, whatever. But then it always comes back to like, oh, well, if I had the R301 in this situation, I probably would have won. Mm-hmm. So like I keep telling myself that we should probably move on from Apex. This is not an Apex podcast.
Maybe.
Fair enough. I mean, it's Apex and Oscars, right?
Well,
yeah.
Let's wrap it up this way. Derek, I'm very excited to see your wingman skills on Wednesday when you, Websy, and I stream arenas together for the first time.
Let's go.
Wednesday, May 5th.
Yes.
Wednesday,
May the 5th.
At what time?
Strudel Dude, Sklurpicide, and Websy Jr., and we'll be streaming arenas together for the first time on a multi, and it's going to be beautiful.
6:30 p.m. Eastern?
No, 5 p.m.
5 p.m. Eastern.
PM
Central.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Cool.
Beautiful. Cannot wait.
I did have one more thing I wanted to talk about, and it's very quick. I just saw this article, and it said Japan is opening its first ever esports gym in Tokyo, where people can book 3-hour slots at PCs and pay for coaching from professional gamers.
Whoa.
So what it is, it's like $13 for 3 hours, or you can do $50 for a month, and you can
That's
pay
not
extra.
bad.
You can pay an extra $25 to get coaching from a pro.
That's cool.
So,
Man,
so
I'm really looking forward to just getting in the sweatiest fucking lobbies every time I drop into any game ever. $13 for 3 hours to have a pro be like, hey, you're not doing this right. You got to rotate here, do this better, and then I'm just out of position all the fucking time now.
I just thought it was so interesting because like I saw that and I was just like, imagine like as a kid, somebody was like, you can go to like they call it a gym, but you're sitting in a chair for 3 hours, but you're going to a gym and it's just to play games. Like imagine if your parents were like, yeah, here's $13, go sit at a PC and fuck people up. You know?
That's so
that's
cool.
Nuts. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Esports the future, so it makes
100%.
complete sense.
Oh, I mean, it's a
$13
legitimate career now. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you can be the best and make a shit ton of money off it, why not? So it's just wild that like for $50 a month, you know, and then some extra on top, you know, for like coaching.
Yeah.
You can
I
just
mean,
fucking
what's
kill it.
$13 on top of the $1,000 plane ticket that you have to pay to get there, right? It's fine.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Just don't eat an extra snack on the plane. You're fucking fine.
Golden.
Yeah.
Golden. Who's next?
It's either you or Dallas. Who wants to go for it?
Do you want to head us off there, Street?
Sure, I can do it. Mine are going to be like super lighthearted and quick.
Ugh.
I first wanted to touch on this phenomenon that we're all familiar with now is TikTok. And I just wanted to talk about it in general, get your thoughts on it. I recently had an experience where I made a TikTok and my sound has been fucking used and reused by over like 600 people on TikTok. And yet my video has not gone viral. People are just using my sound. People are just using my sound. And I took like a half an hour out of my time this morning just going to every single video and be like, hey, it's my sound. Hey, it's my sound. Hey, it's my sound.
Wow.
Just so I could get some sort of recognition because I felt like, what the fuck? What the fuck is happening?
So, I don't know how TikTok works. I don't use it. So, what do you mean your sound? Somebody can just take the audio of your clip?
Yeah, so you can upload whatever you want as long as it meets their guidelines or whatever.
Not porn.
And then exactly, not porn. And then
I'm
somebody can just like take your audio and apply it to their video when they upload it.
As like a voiceover.
As a voiceover, yep.
So like
And then
it's almost
they
like a React platform, like that, or it could be used as a React platform.
It could be, yeah. It's not exclusively that, but yeah. For example, my video is it's Victoria and I were sitting at the beach, not the beach, like by the lake.
Gross.
And Victoria was filming me. She's like, "Hey, you want to hear what a horny Canadian goose sounds like?" And I just go, "Oh yeah," and that's it. That's it. And then people are just like using that sound and lip syncing to my voice.
Whoa.
And it's really fucking surreal and weird, but like the video's not taking off. It's just my sound being fucking passed around like a tramp.
Oh yeah.
You fucking sound whore.
I'm a sound whore. Use me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a weird thing. And TikTok in general for David, it's just a place where you can upload either a 15-second clip or a 60-second clip, depending on what your content is.
Anywhere in
Generally
between?
speaking,
Are you allowed like a 32-second clip?
Oh yeah, you are. But you would have to choose 60 seconds and get there. Like
Okay.
if you choose 15 seconds, you can't go beyond that when you're recording.
Cool.
Generally speaking, shorter clips do better, become more viral and get passed around. But yeah, it's everything. And trends happen, dances happen that people just like recycle those things, and sounds become trends, and hashtags apparently aren't a thing. The algorithm for TikTok is if you watch the video to the end, then it becomes a thing, you know? It's not like a hashtag thing or like tagging anybody or anything like that. It's you watch, if your video gets watched to the end, and then it becomes more popular. And yeah, anyway, I just want to know your thoughts on it. Do you guys have TikTok? Do you promote on TikTok? I know Twitch has become a thing. Like streamers are taking over TikTok like crazy. I was just wondering what your guys' thoughts on that were.
I mean, for me, so I do have a TikTok. I only post Apex clips though. Like I'm not posting things of myself. That's just not how I am. But also it's like I'll post it and I'll get the fuck out of the app, since it's built to destroy your mind for 5 hours. And at least from my perspective, the man fucking below me has a problem. And his name is Dallas. If it's not on like that on your screen, I don't know. But man, like that's why I always get out, because like, so David, so just to fill you in, it's basically an endless feed of videos. So like one will be on the screen, and then right when it's over, it just goes up to the next one. There's no scroll.
Yeah.
It just plays the next video for you. And it'll just keep
mine doesn't do that.
What?
Mine doesn't do that personally. I have to scroll to the next. My video will keep playing, and if I let it play, that person's getting views,
mine just goes up. I don't know. But
interesting.
But it'll just keep playing videos is the point anyways, regardless.
Yeah.
And it's hard to stop watching, even for Derek, I'm sure, even if you have to scroll, you're just like, oh, I want to scroll because there'll be another one. And normally it's pretty funny content. So,
yeah.
The indents I have on my knees from just sitting on the crapper and scrolling through TikTok. Dude, yeah, exactly. And I took my shit 2 hours ago, and I'm still here.
I don't do that. I'm really
like, are you at work? I'm like, no, I'm in the bathroom.
You at work? I just love the thought of Derek getting paid for fucking 2 hours.
Yeah,
and he's just on TikTok, not shit.
Oh my god! Wow.
Yep. That's how that is.
I feel as if this is a platform I should stay away from. Like I have a really bad like habit of going down the YouTube rabbit hole. Like, so I have this recent kick. I don't know. Oh fuck it, I'll talk about it on the podcast. I have a recent kick where I find a random British television like panel show. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of like Would I Lie to You, or like 8 out of 10 Cats does countdown. Yeah, this is fucking going nowhere. Anyways, so yeah, so like it's not a thing in the States or Canada, but like in British television, like panel shows are a thing where like comedians just sit in a panel and they literally just talk about like their week or news that happened that week, and then they make jokes. And like that's just like the thing they do. So a lot of the jokes go over my head because like I don't know who David Cameron is. But like that a lot of it's like European focused. But
yeah.
But like they're just really fucking funny. So like that kind of like opened up a bunch of other British television shows. So like I'm watching this show called Taskmaster, where they're given like a ridiculous task and they have to do like complete it in amount of like whoever does it the fastest. Well, they're given guidelines and they try to like find the most creative way to get around those guidelines, like finding loopholes. And it's all comedians, so like it's funny. Like one I just watched, there was like 30 socks on a clothesline, like pinned on a clothesline, and in one of the socks there was a tangerine. In all of the other socks there was different balls, but they weren't allowed to look inside the sock, and they were only allowed to feel 5 socks. So how do you figure? You had to figure out the fastest who did it. So it sounds like it's a super serious show, but no, it's fucking stupid. Like they're just telling jokes and like they're just like trying to like figure it out. But anyways,
your TikTok feed would be so fucking weird.
Guys, my like I know my Instagram feed is porn, but like my YouTube feed is like fucking London, right? Like Like, I'm the most British Canadian kid if you look at my YouTube. Actually, if you guys look at the ZoomOut YouTube, like, just from our personality, it's because it's connected to my account that it fucking shows British television. Like, if you go...
You gotta remedy that.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I should sign up for
Can't go on
TikTok.
your
Just
Explore feed around your significant other because it's just a
we
nightmare.
did we talk about this on the podcast, or did we just have
No,
this
I
chat?
think it was off.
Or
It was on
yeah,
the podcast,
Why
yeah.
not bring it on the air?
yeah.
Let's do it.
Basically, I don't know.
Right?
I think it's because I'm like a
Do it.
27-year-old male. I get that reference. I'll fucking do it.
Do it.
British TV.
Yeah, nailed it. Right before they go to the commercial, like, oh, we'll be heading to a commercial. I'll fucking do it. And then commercial. I just blew this audio.
It's cool. It blanked out your F-bomb. It was perfect.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Anyways, yeah, my Explore feed is just women. It's just women in bikinis. Like I was telling my significant other Sarah, I was like, I don't get it. I all I follow is people from high school and hockey teams and a little bit of esports. But like, if I look at my Explore feed, it's just fucking boob city. Like,
That's what you want.
But if you've ever clicked on one of those photos and lingered there just for like 5 seconds, there you go.
I don't think we have to make this a hypothetical. I've 100% clicked on these photos. I'm not just gonna see boobs and not click. Like,
Yeah.
You know, there's if you click the 3 dots on the post, you can say not interested, just in case you ever get to something that you don't.
oh,
like.
I've 100%
David
done
would
that.
not lie to
Yeah,
himself like
yeah,
that. No,
Definitely
no, no.
done
No.
that before.
yeah. I've hit not interested in all the boob ones, and they just
He
like
was looking for the definitely interested button. It
mine doesn't
exist.
look like mine doesn't look like 3 dots though. It's just a heart, and I just keep fucking hitting it.
And the bookmark symbol is save to favorites. Save
Yeah.
to favorites.
It's
save to
so
favorites.
so weird.
my
Yeah,
God.
and every time I'm not interested, I just like for some reason I'm following more people.
Right.
It's strange. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have this image really quickly of David's significant other like picking up his phone when it's open to Instagram, and she like goes to the saved ones, and it's like the same girl in the feed 50 times. You just hit the save one like this. You just fucking keep hitting save.
It's softcore masturbation. Like.
Oh my
And there
god.
goes the algorithm, you know?
Oh.
Like Sarah goes to pick up the phone. I'm like, fuck no.
You're like, absolutely. Hey, you're not gonna want to see that.
Yeah.
Dallas, do you have a TikTok?
I do.
You don't say.
Man, I got some pages for you to follow.
Yeah, no. It's literally like 100% Apex clips at this point.
Okay.
Like, and then just like girls.
Sorry, that's what you
dancing.
post, or that's what you view on TikTok?
The feed.
Right.
Yeah, the For You page. It's
Are you like an active poster, or?
I think just like I have a bunch of drafts that I haven't posted, but
Mhm.
I just kind of want to show people them and be like, do you think this is worth posting? Because like I
Right.
think it's funny, but does it click with anyone else? Kind of
Fair.
thing.
Nice. I see what you
But
did there.
I just
Click.
like being a fucking idiot on TikTok. Literally, just like I'll just make faces to like a common trend. The one,
Yeah.
the most recent one was like. And it's like people flicking their face back and forth to see if it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
symmetrical or whatever.
Yeah.
And I did that, but I just made the dumbest faces for the
I
entire
saw it. It was wonderful.
time. And I was like, I'm not gonna do the trends that like the way they're meant to be. I'm just
nice.
gonna, like, do them
Trendsetter.
how I think they're funny.
But
That's the best way.
But see, right there though, like, then just fucking send it, dude. Like, don't fucking leave them in drafts and be like, are they good? Just fucking send it. If you like, if you're just gonna do them a different way.
Yeah. What do you
Fuck
care?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
He's fucking
it.
doing it.
I'll
I
do it.
gotta do it.
We should make a
I'm
Discord. We should make a Discord channel that's just specifically like we'll just name it like Dallas might send this. Like,
Ooh, I like that.
yeah, just
I
uploads it.
I actually don't have any time left on my phone for TikTok today. I set a timer for myself.
Hey, by the way, dude, get a bigger water bottle, you know?
I did. Couldn't find one. This is the biggest one.
He needs to spend more time in the bathroom so he can TikTok. Like he's just trying to push him there.
For anyone who's got
Addiction
audio
is real.
only, it's a fucking 10-gallon jug of water, and he's just fucking, his tries are popping while he holds it. It's fucking
He
nuts.
slapped a handle onto those water coolers at work
Yeah.
and took that home.
I thought like if he moved his head, we would see the empty water cooler behind us, and it was just perception.
It's bigger than his head, you
It's
know?
1 gallon.
That's
much water.
Hey
Oh,
guys,
right.
it's a totally normal 1 gallon stuff.
Dude, I just don't want to go fill my water all the time.
It's yeah.
My fucking apartment's so big I can't walk to the fridge.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I accidentally slipped. Oh, my apartment flooded. Like the water damage is nuts.
Oh man.
This is absolutely shat upon.
Hey, you know, there's like a hot tub trend on fucking Twitch right now. Just hop in, dude. Get in the water.
Oh god. That's so
Yeah, that'll teach you to fucking hydrate on this podcast.
Yeah, I guess I'm not drinking any more water. Thanks. guys.
Oh man. Just stop.
All right,
Stop.
Dallas. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah,
Are you done
I'm
with the
done.
TikTok? Do you have anything else? Do you want to talk about
No,
it
I
first?
just want to know, like, do you guys think it's a valid way to promote yourself
Yeah.
for Twitch?
I think it's a good quick. Like, I mean, it's tough because when you're going from that to Twitch is like the longest form of live entertainment.
Right.
And it's not the same level of energy as the TikTok. I'm not going to be doing the fucking faces the whole time. So if someone sees that TikTok and they're like, "Oh, this guy's hilarious," like, I want to go to his. It's the same thing with posting
Right.
clips too. It's like a clip is a highlight of a very good moment of you either gameplay or being hilarious on stream. People aren't just gonna hit, "Oh, he's live," and see that moment.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
so that's where it's tough.
I think in that regard though, like if you understand what media is going to be successful and what social media platform, like you're already like ahead of the game. Like understanding that you need quality content for those 15 seconds and not just posting any 15 seconds, I think puts you in a little bit more of an advantageous state. But at the same time, I think you would be discrediting your viewers or TikTok viewers from assuming that they're going to watch your clip and then assume you're always on like that. Like at this point, people know what to expect from a live stream. What I think the thought process on them is happening is they're seeing this clip of you and, oh, this guy's really funny. And you know what? He might not be funny for the 5 hours he's live, but if I watch him, I get to see those moments in real time and react. Like I think that's more the thought process, not like disappointment of like, oh, this guy's not fucking telling any jokes. Like it's more just like they know they're getting a glimpse of your personality. So it's like, imagine if you had 15 seconds to tell somebody why they should watch you on Twitch. Maybe if you use that mentality for every one of your TikToks, I think that's kind of like the best thing. So if Alex's value prop, I feel like this is an offline conversation, but if Alex's value prop is he's very good at Apex, so he has 15 seconds to show why he's good at Apex. And if Derek has 15 seconds to pull a Charizard and react to it, like I think that encapsulates his like his channel. And like I don't even know what Dallas does. But like yeah, you have 15 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever. Like I think that's kind of the mentality of every one of your TikToks. Yeah.
Wait, Derek, have you done that, by the way? Have you just fucking clipped up your Pokemon reveals and just like, okay, good.
Yeah,
Like I said,
yeah,
I post and I close the app because I don't want to be in there for 7
No, yeah, they're on there, and then I also
Yes.
have a clip for whenever we launch to have that on our Twitter or something too. Like when I pulled the Charizard, so it's a cool clip. Whatever.
It's over $1,000 card that you're pulling out of a pack, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's
I'm not going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about, but I saw it was some like really rare Charizard card, and they said it could be like $300,000 if it's like the perfect like first edition, whatever. And I was like, hey, dude, that's a lot.
It's the very first Charizard card that was ever made, and it just sold on eBay for over $300,000.
That is nuts.
Imagine
So is it in
paying that
Japanese?
for-
It actually isn't. It's the English version.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Imagine paying that for a piece of paper, you know?
Yeah, it's fucked. That's collectors will do it. Collectors will do it.
Like cards, like in terms of like sports and like I guess animes or card games like this, like that's a whole like hobby that I just don't understand. Like it's not that I don't understand the like for it, because like we've talked about, I think this on the very first episode. Like I like collecting cards. It's just like you have to dedicate so much time to like values and like understanding the different like sections of cards. Like I was tuned into your stream, Derek, and I just was so blown away when you were just talking about like what edition it was and like what these packets from. I was like, fuck, I don't know. I'm just gonna just look at the card.
It's fucking unreal. And sports cards are worse, believe it or not. Sports cards is just a whole nother fucking world. To bring it back to TikTok, I watched a TikTok about these guys who bought a storage unit from somebody who had died. So there's these storage units you can just buy, right? Mm-hmm. And they for like $6,000. They opened it up and it was a collector store, like a card store's storage unit. And they found so many like rookie cards. They found like a couple of Michael Jordan cards that are now worth $2 million a piece.
That's nuts.
A card.
Yeah.
They just hit the jackpot. It was crazy.
Should you be able to buy a storage unit from a dead person? Shouldn't that specifically be only for people that are alive?
No, if they
I'm really glad that like that took a second.
On a serious note though, like a storage unit, they can sell the storage unit if there's no next of kin. They can just be like, well, this is locked. We can't go in there. You can just buy it from us, and then you go in there because now you own it. You can do whatever you want with it.
David, it's not British, but just go watch Storage Wars.
Oh, I have.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
He watches content that's not British, guys.
Yeah.
I'm perplexed.
Oh, but I guess I never even got to it. It's just the British content for me is so addictive. Like I've gone to bed at my like 11 o'clock bedtime, and I have like watched it all the way until like 4 a.m. I'm like, why the fuck am I still watching this? And it's just so addictive to me. Yeah.
I don't feel like I talked about British TV enough, guys.
Let's just go back to this for a second.
Okay, if you guys can talk about Apex for like 30 minutes, you guys can let me talk about British television.
Fair enough.
Let me tell you, I'm going to do my top 5 British comedian. No,
let's not. Oh.
Did you?
Oh here you go. Chug.
For the audio, he drank 1 of 8 gallons there in that jug.
If you notice, the air is a little drier.
Dallas. What do you want to talk about, buddy?
Guys, I really wanted to talk about this last week briefly, but I couldn't bring myself to bring up a second topic because the first one popped pretty well. I wanted to talk about offline versus online progression in video games. And the reason I bring it up is I've tried to get into a couple games that are like offline, and I hate them now. I can't do it. There's like in my brain, there's something that's like, this is not doing anything for you. You have nothing to show for it. You can't compare it to other people's things. It's not making you better in the game. Like, I can't do it.
Sorry, can you be more specific? I'm not really sure what you mean. I'm not familiar with the concept of online offline progression. What is this?
Like online progression meaning like, hey, if I'm gonna play Destiny 2,
right?
I'm gonna play through the storyline, right?
Right.
That storyline can get me guns that I can use online against other people.
It's shared experiences versus solo experiences. So like a multiplayer game that like everything he does is viewable and has consequences for the other players that are playing versus a solo experience in which the only consequences or achievements are to yourself or to the NPCs of the world. So a Skyrim versus Destiny or Apex or something like that.
And this thought process of you hating that, it only applies to games like that? Like, does it apply to games that you just play for the story? Like,
yeah. So,
like what? Like Zelda? Well, hold on. Like Zelda. No.
I stopped streaming Zelda. I can't do it. I can't play it.
I was gonna say you've been doing those community days, and I was like, not feeling the Zelda.
No.
Not that you didn't want to do the community day. By the way, I know you wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
But you did. You were like, hey, Wednesday's a nice day for that.
Yeah, dude. I'm just like, I'm at this point where I so badly remember how much I would love to get onto my N64 and just rip through a campaign mode. But since Halo 2 and just no scoping people across the map and feeling that like I'm better than you, you know? I can't. I tried to go back to Zelda. In my opinion, like one of the most beautiful games that's ever been made, and I couldn't play through it.
Yeah, the competitive bug is a very real disease. Yeah,
it's just madness to think that like these games that are so beautiful. Another one that's most recent too, Horizon Zero Dawn. Beautiful game, and I've seen a lot of people playing Horizon Zero Dawn, but as far as I'm aware, you can't hop into like a matchmaking mode with other people in Horizon Zero Dawn and like use the equipment that you've to like battle it out or like do all these. So it's like these single player games that have no online progression. I can't get into, and I hate it. And I want to have that feeling of being like, I want a story that I can jump into, but I just can't get into them.
Right.
You're looking at the guy who's always had that problem.
Yeah.
Always. Like Grand Theft Auto. Like everyone's like, oh, the story's sick. Don't care. Put me in the multiplayer right now. You know? Like I see, like I've seen people streaming The Last of Us. Great game. You know, like we talked about last week. Beautiful music. Great storyline. Rips your fucking heart out. And I don't think I could sit there and just play the game just to enjoy it because I could be playing another game that that I'm improving on something like Apex, you know?
Yeah.
And like, even when I used to play campaigns, like I never really enjoyed Call of Duty campaigns. I would play them just to know.
Oh, that's blasphemy.
So, like, I know. Well, it's just like, I mean, like every now and then, every now and then a moment would get me, but I was just like, the only one that I really loved was like Halo 3 campaign. But even then the great thing about that was doing it with 3 of your closest friends, you know, working really hard together. So it wasn't even me playing it by myself.
Yeah.
I don't get anything from it, and I never have. And like Dallas, like I don't know if I ever will. Like I want to. It's this weird thing where it's like I would love to be like, oh, I should sit down and dedicate a bunch of hours to this game, and you know, and just play it by myself. But I don't know if I can ever do it. The only way I think I could do it is if I streamed it, because then I'm like playing it with, you know, X amount of people, you know, because they're there and we can talk about it and have fun. Because I can't justify sitting in my room and just doing it on my own. It doesn't do anything for me. So
yeah, even that didn't cut it for Dallas though. So
yeah, that's what I mean. I was like, I was streaming it.
I know.
I definitely want to speak on this, but my bladder is the size of Websy's water bottle right now. I really, I know it's not very professional, but like maybe we can make a cut or something because I'm going to explode.
Yeah, this stays in, by the way. I will make a cut when you return.
Look at him go.
Yeah.
Phew.
Man, sorry about that, guys. I had to like fill up the bowl and then flush it and keep going. So,
okay. So Darik, your thought, you were before you had to fucking pee. Your thoughts on offline versus online. Obviously, Dallas, he's not against it. He's just kind of falling out of it. Alex never had it. Your thoughts?
Yeah, you guys are disenchanted by it. I understand it. I totally get it. I was at a point like that a while ago, a long time ago, actually. And what helped me with that in a weird way were Xbox achievements. And I got really addicted to Xbox achievements and like going through a story mode and getting all the collectibles and upgrading everything to get those achievements and like have 100% on the game. Which I really, really wish like they would implement more heavily into other things like Steam or like Switch. Switch is notorious for not having that. I'm really bummed about that, or Nintendo in general. But yeah, that really helped me get back into enjoying a nice, you know, adventure game or a story-driven game. And then obviously when I got more interested and I grew up a little bit and got interested in like writing and filmmaking and stuff like that, I applied that wonder and that imagination to games, and I appreciate games a lot more because I have that knowledge and what goes into video games like that. But yeah, I'm definitely more on the side of enjoying a nice full story or character driven game. I would not that I don't like competitive online play. I fucking love Apex. I loved Call of Duty. I loved Halo. I love Gears of War. I love it all. And playing with my friends online is just a blast. But I think I'm in a happier place and I enjoy myself more if I get to sit down and really like zone in on a character and a story and be with them on that adventure. That's just my thought.
I think sorry, just to add on. I kind of agree with Derek. Like, I spend most of my time playing online competitive games. The Apexes, the Rainbow Six Sieges, like some NHL, some FIFA. But I dictate some of my time to beat a solo game after maybe like I probably once a month or once every 2 months. And I think that's kind of the balance that helps me. I don't go back every week and try to like work through a solo game. I just like I find one every couple of months and I'm like, okay, I'm going to dictate some time to go through it. And that's where I feel like I love it more. Because I've kind of like I've been exercising the competitive side of my gaming for a while, so it's nice, almost like a little bit of a break, a clarity break from playing like online games. So like right now the one that I'm playing through or trying to play through is Control, and like I that game came out months ago, like almost a year ago, but like I saved it because I was like, I love it. At the time, I was loving Warzone. Now I'm loving Apex again. I was taking my mental relief from Rainbow Six Siege because I need that. And now that I'm like, I've played Apex for a bit, which sucks because Arena's about to come out, so this might actually be null and void, and I might not play Control. But I'm now ready to kind of like play through Control and just take like a break. So I don't know if that would help. Maybe it's you're trying to kind of shoehorn it into a streaming environment that you feel like you need to play it every couple of weeks or so. Maybe if you just take a longer break, have that it's fine to play those competitive multiplayer experiences, but then just every once in a while, like pick a game that like a solo experience game that like you can just kind of have your own like personal experience with. I think it's kind of like, I guess, sorry, I talk a lot, but like it's almost like reading a book for me too, where it's like the first maybe 50 pages of a book, 50 to 100 pages of the book, I'm actively thinking I don't want to read a book.
Yeah.
Like, and that's kind of like what I feel like for solo player games too. Like sometimes the first hour of the game, especially fucking tutorials, because I know you have to be taught how to play the game. But like, it is one of the most disheartening things that I'm so excited to play this game, but I know I'm going to be talked down to for the first fucking 30 minutes of this game. Like, I like, it bothers me because like, you're not in the story, right? Like, you're not like, I want to be just dropped in, and I work in game development, so I know that's a objectively awful idea, but like, I still like it. It's kind of like that book feeling of like
condescending bullshit.
Yeah, fucking
job. Really?
Oh my god! I'm really glad it's not down, up 3, 2, 1, 8. Fuck. Like,
so angry.
Like, oh my gosh, God. You should switch guns. It's faster than reloading. Bull fucking shit. I've seen the Marines. Like, it's
oh my god, so mad.
Yeah, I think, okay, on a side note, I love, like, my whole thing is understanding and loving gameplay mechanics. This is we're not talking about your topic anymore, but I love gameplay mechanics. But one of my biggest pet peeves is tutorials. I actually find that more games do tutorials poorly than any other, like, the mechanic. Like, I tutorials are awful in a lot of games. And a lot of good games, they're still bad.
To build off what you're saying just a little bit, like, that's my problem with a game that's just driven totally by the storyline, is that I can't change the outcome of something.
Yeah.
Like I want to change the outcome. I want to win. So, like, when the storyline's like, well, this person's going to die from the outset. No, fuck that.
Yeah.
Like, let me try to save their life at least, you know, so I hate that shit. I think that's part of my problem.
Have you played any games that have multiple endings? Like, does that do anything for you? Like that?
I feel like because the endings are still set in stone and still designed to be those endings, that like I feel like there's a deeper meaning behind that dislike to not being able to control the game, Alex. Let's take a deeper look at that.
Yeah, let's do it. Lean back in the chair. I'm gonna go sit in that fucking chair. Let's do that.
Yeah,
that chair looks comfy as fuck. Is that like a fur blanket?
That's a reindeer pelt.
Wow.
Damn. Yeah. This guy's eclectic as fuck.
Yeah, he'll never forget his first pet.
As many cigars and scotch. Anyway, to bring my topic back.
Yes, please do.
David so fucking ruined it.
Sorry. Some call it input, some call it ruining it.
Hey, Don't talk about my topic next time. Okay? How about that?
How about you go drink some water, dude?
Yeah, I'll go drink more water. Anyway, no, there's a couple things. Like, I agree with what Derek is saying. Is like, hey, you can get into a character and a storyline, and there's beauty in those games. I just feel like I'm getting to a point where I'd rather watch someone else who enjoys it more than me play through it. I find that very entertaining. Like, then I don't have to buy the game, and B, someone who like really enjoys the experience gets to go through that, and I get to enjoy them enjoying it too at the same time as the dialogue and everything like that.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that I feel like I've just fallen out of love with. And It Takes Two is obviously offline, but it's co-op, and that gives me like a memory with a friend, you know. So that I think is a different experience in general.
I think so too. Yeah.
If I'm gonna have someone choose the outcome for me for a few hours, I'll just go watch a movie.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up actually. Do you just not like movies?
I fucking love movies, but that's the thing is I think it's just that I can't do anything. Like the movie's made, I can't influence it. So like I'm good with it, you know?
Yeah. I don't want controller.
I don't want the weird middle ground where it's like, oh, I could be doing something, but instead I'm going to get a cutscene where someone gets fucked up and I can't do anything because they wanted to make it sad for me.
Hey, if you ever feel like the main character is having a hard time and they're just not dealing with their shit fast enough, just hit fast forward, man. Like, they'll fucking figure it out.
Control at the finest. Yo, have you ever watched the movie on Netflix,
Bandersnatch? No.
Bandersnatch? It's like,
yes.
Yeah, you can control that outcome. That's pretty cool.
It was okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a cool experience. I'm not saying
it wasn't like
but...
That's true. I wish I don't know if I wish they did more stuff like that, but it was at least really interesting. Like, oh, like you really fuck up the ending of this if you choose this and that. Because I did one and then I tried to like change everything like for a while. Like I spent way longer than I should have trying to change everything.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. All right, cool. Yeah.
Well, this has been it. We're done.
We have reached the end. Unless Dallas, did you have anything else?
No, that was it. Okay. That was it for this.
I'm sorry that you can't find the magic in solo offline play anymore.
I know. I wish I could. I wish I could. But hey, maybe there will come a day where I'm not as sweaty and I don't feel the obligation. A part of it is that sometimes when I'm playing offline games and I really want to get better at Apex, I'm like, I could be using this time to get better at Apex.
Yeah. That's fair.
I feel like I'm almost falling behind in the thing that I actually really enjoy doing. And
do what you enjoy.
So it's like, oh man.
Yeah, come to the dark side. Yeah.
All of my friends are getting better at Apex, so I know that very much. Now I feel like I need to dedicate time to playing Apex and getting better.
I'm terrified for the day that you get a better PC and start playing Apex on PC because you're just gonna get better than me, and I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, keep my like handicap of the console. The PC's coming.
Yeah.
Wow, every console gamer just went, "Fuck you."
Well, I complain about it every night. It's just that I always play with Derek, and he's always on PC, so it's me versus a PC lobby, and I just hate it. Yeah. I'll just take my sometimes 60 frames per second and just fucking deal with it.
Well, I guess I'll go fuck myself.
Yeah. Oh, you dropped smoke in a Gibeah? Can't wait to see that in 8 seconds when it populates. Fucking love it. Yay, particle effects. Oh, that's my own fucking blood.
You start seeing the smoke. I'm like, dude, I already have your banner. I'm on your spot.
Yeah. Everybody like is freaking out right now. Like, that's not how consoles like. Guys, I play on the Game Boy Advance, right? Like,
with the light that you have to plug into the bottom of.
Oh yeah. I don't have. That thing was legit. I like that you plug it in the side. Oh man, that was so good.
So good.
Okay, well this podcast is done. Fuck it.
Yeah, let's end it. Let's end it.
Hey, hello. No, not hello. Goodbye. This is episode 6 of the podcast.
Another one. Let's go.
What episode is this? 4, right?
4.
Yeah. Okay. Hello. Nope. Goodbye.
No way you just did that again.
Thank you so much for listening to us while we banter through a bunch of different random topics. topics. This has been episode 4 of the Zoom Out podcast. I love you all. Thank you for listening.
Oh, thank you so much. Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
I really think that it speaks to the quality of host that I can start a podcast, but I can't end by the end.
What is this, the Oscars?